welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with a super fun book tag. I was tagged by Phoebe over at Paper Chains. I will have her video listed down below. She posted an original book tag and tagged me. It is the Get to Know Ya book tag, and she just had some questions that she answered for herself and then tagged some people to answer as well. So I have those in front of me. There are 12 questions. I will be looking down just so that I can check out her channel. She has all the questions in the description box, which I will have in mine as well. I will tag everybody. You guys know I get tag anxiety. I don't know who likes tags, who has a full schedule of videos that they already have planned out. I don't know, if you've already answered questions like this in previous tags and you don't want to repeat them. So in general, I get really anxious tagging people, like just tagging people for my Labyrinth book tag, which if you haven't checked out, I will link up above. Not because I don't love you, I do. And it's not because I don't support your channel, I do. It's just, I feel bad making you feel obligated to do a tag. Is that weird? Like, I'm too sensitive. I don't want you to feel like you have to do something you don't want to do. So if you want to do this, please, please do this. Again, all the info will be down below. Enough about that. Let's jump into the Get to Know Your book tag. So, number 1 was my favorite book, and I hate this question, and I mean, I love Phoebe, hate this question, because it's so hard for me to narrow it down to just one book. I have so many books that I love and so many series that I love and authors that I love, and I maybe should have some like big defining book that just speaks to my soul, but I don't. I have a lot of things that I love about a lot of different books. Impossible for me to pick a favorite book and just say hands down, by far, favorite book ever. Nothing beats it. The standard to which everything else is set, because I try to take everything as its own individual piece of work, so I can't give you an answer. Sorry to start off so wishy-washy, but let's go on to number 2. My favorite book 5 years ago. I'm gonna go with One Day by David Nichols, because I think I read it about 5 years ago. Maybe more, maybe not. No, probably about 5 years ago. And it was intense, like intense for me, but I loved it. So I'm gonna say that. Number 3 was my favorite duology, trilogy, or series. I'm going to answer all 3 since I was so wishy-washy on the first question. My favorite duology is Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. My favorite trilogy is the Lord of the Rings trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien. And my favorite series is the Hollow series by Kim Harrison. Number 4, the last book that I read. The last book that I read and completed was Dare Me by Megan Abbott, but I hated it, so I don't want to talk about it. So I'll say the one that I'm reading now, which is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas and Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, both of which I'm really enjoying. Number 5 is the last book of poetry that I read, and I just read The Princess Saves Herself in this one today, and that's by Amanda Lovelace. That's a collection of poems, a lot like Milk and Honey, although these are a little bit more fleshed out without any artwork. And I definitely connected to these a lot more. It's still not my preferred form of poetry, but I did at least connect to the message and the theme. So I liked this one a lot more than Milk and Honey. I haven't done my Goodreads yet on it, but I read that today. Number 6 is the book that most influenced my life. And this is a lot like number 1. I have so many books that influence my life in so many different ways, and I take little bits and pieces from each piece of work that I read. But I'm gonna go ahead and say the Babysitter's Club just series as a whole, because it taught me a lot as a kid. It was like the first series that I probably just binge read all of the books for and stayed invested in an entire series, which I then followed up with the Nancy Drew series, etc., etc. But the Babysitter's Club also showed me a lot about friendships, about entrepreneurship, about responsibility, about family, about boys. There was relationships and love and how to balance a relationship with your friendships. There was having struggles and conflicts with friends. There was money management. There was, being a babysitter, which I was as a kid. So for me, that was like a super inspirational, not inspirational, just, it was very relatable. It taught me a lot of things that I didn't want to necessarily go to my parents about. I could kind of read and relate to and learn from. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that because it's the earliest book that I remember really truly teaching me and kind of guiding me in a way. And number 7 is a book that made me ugly cry, and like every single book pretty much makes me ugly cry. I ugly cry at the drop of a hat. I'm a very, very easy crier. I'm super connected to my tear ducts, and I happy cry, ugly cry. I sad cry, ugly cry, more sad cry, ugly cry. I find crying very cathartic. I do it probably daily. And I will say that the last one was probably Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin O'Leary Sands, Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I cry a lot, guys. So those are probably the most recent ones. The last book to make me laugh is number 8, and I don't laugh very much. I don't find like huge amounts of humor in books. Authors don't write the kind of humor that I find really amusing. But I did come up with something, and I did pick My Lady Jane because that was the last one that was kind of humorous. I don't know if I laughed out loud at it, but I definitely found it entertaining, so I'll go with that. Number 9 is a character that I'd like to be for the day, and I'm going to be so basic, like Starbucks pumpkin latte basic, which I don't drink, but that's like the most basic thing I can come up with, and say Hermione, because magic, because badass, because brilliant, because curly hair problems, and because I love her. Number 10 is a book so good I dreamt about it, and I did love this book, but I don't think I dreamt about it because I loved it so much. I dreamt about it because it like haunted me, and that was Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray, which is about dreams and like dream stealers and this entity that sucks the life out of people as they dream that can't wake from these dreams. I had the most effed up dreams while reading that book because I listened to it in audio format, which was phenomenal, but it messed with my head, something fierce. So I definitely had some really strange dreams while reading that book. Number 11 is a book that I DNF'd, and I have not DNF'd any books yet this year. However, last year I super did. I DNF'd the Mara Dyer trilogy. I didn't actually DNF any of the books. I finished each of the books, but I DNF'd the series, which I think is the only thing I've ever done. I don't think I've ever walked away from a book in the middle of the book and just not finished it. If I start something, I usually finish it. Like I haven't full on just stopped reading a book midway, but I've called it quits on that series. Number 12, the last question, is a book that I'm really excited to read. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that I have a lot on my TBR that I'm very excited for. But I'm gonna go with a new release, which is coming out soon, and it's Winter Song by S.J. Jones. I have seen one review on this book, and it was not great. The person that was reviewing it really loved The Labyrinth and then said that they were kind of let down by this one. It's a very loose retelling. It's not like a full-blown Labyrinth story, which I'm fine with, but she said she was a little bit let down by it. So I'm hoping to still love it. And then other than that, just books that are on my shelf. I am super looking forward to finally getting to A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury. More A Court of Mist and Fury. Like I feel like I'm reading the first one just to get to the second one, which everybody says is amazing. But I will not read those until I'm done with the Throne of Glass series, and I'm right now reading Queen of Shadows. So I still have to finish Empire of Storms. I have to finish Queen of Shadows, read Empire of Storms, and then I can read those two. So that has been the Get to Know You book tag. Thank you so much, Phoebe, for tagging me. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember, tag anxiety. Guys, I'm just gonna be real with you, and I'm not tagging anybody, but I tag everybody at the same time. Does that make sense? Do the words coming out of my mouth make sense? I hope so. All right, everybody, that has been my tag. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give me a big old thumbs up. Click subscribe. Click that little alarm bell next to subscribe so you get notified whenever my videos go live. And I will see all of you in my next video. Bye, guys.